Right. So yeah, is there any questions, guys, before I just plod on, or
No,
you?
I don't have anything. Only that stuff that Stuart mentioned a minute ago, but we'll see when he comes on. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll jump on with that then, and I'll just go and read his question because if you can on the live tonight, mate, could you go over entry structure regarding POI, change of character, entry zones, etc. Just need a refresher. Uh, yeah, etc. Buys on EU and GU. Right, okay. Um, so I'll, I've not really looked at EU and GU in a long time. As you can see, they've not got much marked. So we'll try and do a bit of a full breakdown on it, see what's going on. So obviously on the daily at the minute, I would say it's bearish, but it's in its pullback stage possibly. Just getting to the we're just about hitting these sort of areas where I would say we are maybe sort of starting to think about major sells. Obviously, this is the daily, so this is there'll be lots of selling opportunities in between, obviously, but we're definitely hitting the high of definitely hitting the premium zone. I think a lot of people will call it. Um, so yeah, I think sales are coming up. So I've drawn a line on this. Must have had a look last week to see what it's tapped into. Obviously, there's a decent bit of imbalance. Check it out. So because if we're looking for sells and then obviously waiting for change of characters and things, we want to make sure that we are happy with what it's tapping into. So it doesn't look fantastic on the 1 minute. Can't really see what that is. That's 5 minutes on. um, yeah, quite like that. There's a decent little bit of imbalance in both BPR in this. Um, BPR there. So, and obviously this is the order block, is what it's actually tapped into. Nothing majorly just above it. Maybe equal highs there. Right. Um, I've got this here. Nice push here. So target that issue. So just a quick glance. I do think we will possibly still come higher. Liquidity above here as well. Into big pushes and manipulation, whatever that is. So I still think it's probably going to come higher still for where it's at. Um, how much is probably the question. I don't know, but there's still a lot to aim for above all this. Just going to change to the 2 hour. I find that's the time frame I sort of like to feel like the 2 hour you can sort of see the stuff that you would see on the 15 minute and the 4 hour, so it's somewhere in between. So So trend line, sweep, right to down here. So somewhere up here is a very interesting zone that we might want to look at. Yeah, yeah. I really liked this higher zone. This one here. 116,540. Obviously, I'm on the 4 out at the minute. You'll be able to reduce that on say like the 5, 10, or 15. But it obviously it takes liquidity, sweeps liquidity, and causes his trend line to be taken. So break a structure, change a character, whatever you want to call it. Looks like it leaves decent imbalance or push away at least. Uh, so that would be where I would assume it's maybe heading next if it continue. If it does continue up, it might not, but it's filled that BPR that I mentioned. Shame I didn't make that before. Um, could obviously sell off from here. It's Yeah, that could well be the could well sell off from there actually. Difficult. I still think it might come higher though, but basically, obviously, there's the trend line created. It pulls back. What it's tapped into here might be the order block that's caused the trend line to be taken. So, and then we've mitigated that. We could well, I mean, we're on the 4 hour, so it's definitely broken below the 1 minute, which will be way up here somewhere. So we've possibly broken the 15 here. We'll come up high back into this. So just as obviously Stuart said about like entry structure, the structure for just obviously the markets is there's no difference whether it's on the 1 minute, the 15 minute, the 4 hour, the daily. The same rules and principles are the same every single time. It's just obviously lower the time frame. Like so, the 1 minute is going to change directions or pull back or change a character either far more than say obviously the 4 hour and anything above it. But the rules are exactly the same. So this is probably what I'd class as a 15-minute structure. Um, would probably be under here. This this low here. I know I'm on the 4 hour, but just from experience, you can sort of tend to see that it's probably my 15 because I don't think I'd class that as my 4. So I'm gonna push up, pull back, lowest after the high is created, the lowest point, which is where this arrow will be in a second, somewhere about there. And I'll draw a line from the high. So 15-minute high, 15-minute low, possible 15-minute high and low. When from this high, the low is the lowest bit of price action from the point that is created. So here, this is confirmed once price then passes the high again. So something like that. I'll change this so you can see it properly in a minute. Lowest point in price action before the high is taken. So get a high, and then we get current price action. Yeah. So we actually broke it there. um, just change the time frames again and fit it all on the screen. Uh, right, yeah. I see why he's trying to sell it. Very, very possibly. Structure's difficult on this. We'll possibly get a break there. Change your character, whatever. So the highest price, because obviously on this leg up, I was talking about the lowest price action before the high is retaken. So obviously that's the low. Then obviously for bearish price action, so we take the low here, so we are technically bearish at that point once we take that low. So when we're doing bearish structures, we're looking for the highest bit of price before the low is then taken again. So it'll be one of these two highs here, and then it's taken again. And whether you decide if that's a pullback or not is up to each trader. And I don't think that's a pullback. I think that's a price correction. This big impulsive down candle here pretty much gets filled, and then price action looks like it just continues where it was sort of going. So yeah, I don't think this is a pullback. So from there down to this low here made, and I think the reason why I've sort of decided that, sorry, I'll just explain this, is because if that's a pullback, and then obviously pullback new low, this gets taken here. This would be the high that takes that one, pulls back, creates a new high, gets taken again. So if I was watching this live, I would maybe say that's your structure. But then as soon as it does this, I'd be moving my structure because I don't because once it takes the high again, my new structure, I would adjust my structure. So I'm trying to word this right so I don't confuse you too much. I would then delete this part of my structure and alter this one here because it's continuing bullish still. So my new structure would become from this point to that high. That becomes my new pullback, and we've possibly made a high, or we have made a new high. But what will determine from here is obviously what it does from here. So we've got inside our 15-minute structures. So obviously this orange line is my 15-minute structure. Inside of this, we've also got 1 minute structures or five, anything lower than the 15. I'd say one just to make things a bit easier. So we've got bullish structures going on here. So Stuart said obviously we are possibly in good areas for sells, and obviously he's very right, I believe. So high, low created. So we're back in the top 25%. If it turns bullish, no bearish, sorry, If it turns bearish, we're in prime areas for sells on this whole leg. That will be my 4 hour. This could well be 4 hour pullback and create a new high though. But obviously, the first thing we'd be waiting for is we've had a change of 15 to the downside. It's trended downwards. It's trending back upwards. It started making new higher highs, higher highs, higher lows. So because we could easily start seeing, because we're in this top quarter of this whole range, what we could look for now is sub 15-minute structures to be start changing character. So I'll just delete this because we know we're in the top 25%. So just drop to the 15. I'll drop to the 15. So I'm on the 15. Obviously, you can see what my 15-minute structure is, but inside this, we've got these little structures being made also. So we've also got bullish structures being made inside the whole range. So what if sells, if we're considering sells, so from us the 15-minute structure perspective, we are high up in the previous leg. What we'd be waiting for is a decent 1 minute break to a change of character to the downside. So at the minute, this low here would be the low I wanted to see broken. So if price, obviously it's Sunday night and Mondays are always a bit iffy. No one knows what's going to go on. I would say our options from here are, as a probability, is we will either mitigate that, continue to make a new high, something like that. Change that color just so you can see the different time frames, structures. So obviously, market could open up. It could continue making bullish structures until it taps something in here. Maybe if it's going to sell off, it could come take this low. If it takes the low, then it might come back into something in here and then sell off, mitigate something and then sell off and start making new lower lows. And because it's Monday, it could do anything. I don't tend to really try and do too much Mondays. I don't like it. Mondays seem more erratic for not playing out how I would expect the market to. So I tend to leave them a little bit. So I'm just going to dull these colours a little bit. So So at the minute, we're still bullish structures. So we're too early to sell, in my opinion. What I
You want that
would,
low you want that low broken before you take a sell, yeah?
yes, mate, yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that one in a minute. Obviously, if it does create a new high, though, obviously then it will be the low
Yeah, sure.
that
But it's a
it's
new
just
low.
put in. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a new low, which will be higher up. This might be the low that becomes the new low. Obviously, if it
Yeah.
doesn't take that, so yeah.
Hi,
Still,
Lee.
hey mate, right?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I've got that trade set up at the moment. That the one that's going up.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know if the 15-minute structure I've done was a bit wrong anyway. But yeah, I've got that one set at the moment on that low.
I mean, I was going to have a quick look at it, mate,
Yeah,
because I see. I thought I could see a couple of trend lines. So this is what I mean. I was going to get to like liquidity next anyway. So
okay.
obviously that's just the structure of like the 15, the one, and obviously I've looked at the daily first of all.
Yeah,
Once we start throwing in trend lines, liquidity, and things like that into the mix, then that could also be a good tell of whether we think the market will continue bullish, or turn bearish. Sorry. So it looks like we maybe just turn that on. So if we've got a bit of. I understand why you're trying to buy it. I do. Maybe can't make it out yet. But
yeah, I think my trend line's something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that I think's mine.
Yeah. I don't know. So we've maybe got. They're a bit close. I don't like them. It meets the rules as a valid trend line. So we've got 3 touches. They're a bit close though, these two. But that might be that it might target them. So yeah, it's not taking it yet. So I mean, that could work in your favor. To be fair, anyway, mate. So if you're trying to buy from here,
yeah,
something there maybe. Obviously, if it's going to continue up like this drawing shows, then it will take this possible trend line liquidity,
yeah,
hit your zone or whatever. But I wouldn't say I'm too happy with that liquidity, mate. Do you know this one that I just marked a minute ago? I wouldn't say it's the best, so I don't.
Yeah, but it's all a bit close.
Yeah, it's. I don't like this touch here. I don't think as well. I'm not saying it's not right. Do you know? Oh yeah, it looks nice there. I'll just keep taking a look, mate. Cause I wanna.
Yeah, no worries.
I might be interested in yourself. So. Yeah, quite like that, mate. I do. I like it. Yep. So you got three touches to look pretty good. Pull back, sweep, breaks above.
I think I've got that 1 minute zone right at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I can't go any lower than 1 minute.
Uh, yeah. Yeah. Just setting a alert at that, mate.
Yeah.
Just because. Obviously, it could come. It could come to the. This looks a bit better. So
Okay.
on mine, it's 13617, mate. It could come this low, obviously, but if you've got it, mate, this looks a bit better on the 10-second. This is
Okay. Yeah.
Possibly
I've only got the 1 minute, so yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, just set an alert nearby, mate, and just if it hits
Yeah.
this and starts rocketing away, then
Yeah.
look at that, mate. So this on the 5-second is not great. See how there's no really decent candles, but this one's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 13620, mate. So keep your eye on that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's favouring buys at the minute, I think still. But obviously we can only trade what's in front of us. So if it does, if it takes this, then obviously I'd start considering buys from up here, I guess. Again, obviously we would still use liquidity as a guide. So I don't really like it. I don't think anything in there is a decent trend line I'd be majorly interested in. Short. Hang on. Oh, is it? Yeah, that middle touch is a bit short, so I'm not too pleased with that. The reason I'm checking, obviously, is because obviously I said I'm favouring buys still at the minute. What I wanted to check for was if there was a trend line somewhere in all this, because if that was a sweep, then I would maybe decide on waiting to see what happens in this and wait for a reaction and then getting for the buy if it starts reacting rather than if this is a sweep of if this is a sweep here and there's a trend line somewhere in this, then I would be very patient in waiting to. Obviously, I'd be expecting this. Hopefully, it would break this low. So, if I could find trend line liquidities in this somewhere, like I say, I would wait for maybe the next opportunity because obviously the next move is the one that will tell us whether it's going long or short, I believe, or continue long or turn short. So yeah, that's what I mean when I say about adding liquidity. If we can spot it and it maybe help us decide whether we want to take, say, this buy or not. So I don't see anything at the minute. I'm normally on my tablet too fair. I see things better on the tablet. So obviously do your own due diligence. I will just check as well. So obviously this is pretty much Friday's price action, so it's always worth checking. So obviously this has tapped in something that we really like. It's broken to the downside. It's always worth checking as well to see if that obviously that's done a 15-minute break to the downside. We now want to see a 1 minute somewhere in here, obviously, or just covered. It's also worth checking to see if there's any like lower time frame imbalances in all this because this could set up a trap, if you like, that might break structure. But if there's something just above it that we think, oh, it's definitely got to come and fill that imbalance, it's a sign that we can go, no, we don't want to take that trade for this. If it comes up for the sell, we might decide, no, we'll wait and play extra cautious and wait for it to fill something that we think it's definitely going to take. So obviously nothing's a guarantee, so you never actually fully know, but we're only our main goal, I suppose, is to protect our account. So if we wait for the setups that give us a pretty sure sign, I mean that looks diabolical on 10 seconds, so that may well have filled what it's after, and that leg it looks better on the 1 minute, but we've got equal highs along here as well. 10 seconds, so I don't even know. Feed dependent now. I'll check the feeds, see if that's a trend line or not. It looks totally different on the 10-second. Still that image here maybe hasn't. I would say it's maybe still coming higher. We've got these. This one I'm definitely happy with, that it hasn't been filled. So BPR imbalance there, possible bit just above that as well. So I still think it's coming higher to fill something before it fully turns around. I think this fills this to the dot pretty much, yeah. So whatever that is what maybe need to fill in. These. So I'm only on the 5 second at the minute, so but with me seeing D sort of pushes away, this candle here, this candle here, this candle here, this candle here, maybe something that's there's no candle for it, but all that means is from when that candle there closed, from where that candle closed, and then this next candle started. Prices just either moved that quick, that I haven't registered it, or there's a feed issue of some sort, and it might need filling in still. So it might want to come fill that. Think that takes us to the high. A little bit maybe up here. I'm not going to search it all because I won't get through all the live. But yeah, I still think price wants to come up and fill some imbalances, even if it's just above all this sort of stuff. There was these in here, so I do think price may still want to come higher. So that buy that we covered, that possible buy from here, is looking like a really good option. Yeah, quite like it. My main issue with it is it's probably going to hit Monday morning. So obviously, market's got it might have pulled a gap and it might close below it and then really throw a spanner in the works because I don't know if that counts. So, but yeah, looks like a good buy, mate. To be honest, can't see too many faults with it. So yeah, I like it. Um, so I'm going to get back to Stu's question. I was going to read it again. So I've covered structure. So I know we said about entry structure, but it's exactly the same on any time frame. It's not. If I took away the time on here, it would be the same now. Obviously, yeah, there's a possible sell coming up. It's broken on the 15. If you want to be really aggressive, you like I say, you could pick an imbalance higher up in there and take a sell from it. It technically meets rules. It's just obviously it's aggressive, so yeah, it's very aggressive. And like I say, it still might come higher into this zone as well. So yeah, in a real difficult position for structure, I believe. So I can't even make out on the 4 hour where it's going. Structures. That's why I started on the daily because I can't fit it on the screen. So but yeah, from a daily structure, like I say, it's definitely sort of hitting about the points where big cells are coming in. So, but yeah, for cells, I'd be waiting for a good, decent change of character still. That's sort of all I can sort of really say on it still. Nice. We've got what I like. No. So it'd be nice if this was a sweep of some liquidity as well, I guess. Be another good confirmation. Yeah, difficult, but yeah, I can't really say much more on that, guys. I'll jump onto GU quick and have a quick look at that. Unless there was any questions on that, by the way, I didn't check, obviously. No. Um, so pretty much the same. So obviously I've drawn this from whenever I drew it. So major higher time frame downtrend. So it's putting a low pullback. Show you the other swings. So swing, pullback. Oh, didn't want to do that. Let's reset that for whatever it was. Swing, pullback, swing, pullback, swing. So we're possibly pulling back, and obviously from see if that's the high there, mate. Pull back all the way down to that swing. Again, same with EU. It's in the top 25% again. So it's actually hit a point of interest for me as well. So GU might be slightly better. It's slightly deeper into the structure leg. This structure leg here, so from the high to the low. From the 15, see what it's doing there.
No, can we have a look at those POIs, Lee? Because I've got a very similar marked on mine.
See what these red boxes, mate.
I was just flicking between your chart and my chart. I think
Yeah.
I've got POI set kind of where you have. Just wanted to catch up. Yours might be a bit higher.
Yeah, I've got two here, mate. Split mine up into two. So what I would have done, mate, is I mean, I have no idea when I'm at this. It's in a red box, so I'd have marked it at least 6 months ago. Um, Obviously, there's a bit of imbalance here,
Yeah.
so I've marked that as a separate zone.
Well, we're back. That's all right. We're back in January 22. So I haven't
Yeah,
got that. I haven't got that. No.
yeah. So what I've marked it from obviously this week high to the creation of imbalance there. I'm on the 2 hour at the minute, so
Yeah.
I,
Okay, I see it.
yeah,
It's a good reminder to look to really zoom out, you know.
yeah.
I would never zoom back 3 years. I would never have done that.
Well, I mean, fortunate for me, mate. Obviously, this is a very old markup. Like I don't know when I
Yeah.
did it. It's probably a year ago, mate, maybe, and it's finally sort of coming back to that area. I don't actually know, but yeah, I thought that was nearly equal highs, but it's not.
I've still got bullish in terms of high time frame, not daily, but 4 hour.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a whole set of steps there going up. One, two, three. So I'm flicking between charts. They are getting smaller.
Yeah,
I think I probably got pretty close to what you've got.
yeah. So
Uh, I've
this
got that.
is
Let's have a quick
as a
look.
4 hour. This is obviously this is all one push up. This is the 4 hour high. Pulls
Extra.
back, lowest price action before it continues.
May 12th. Hang on. Yeah, that's what I've got. I've got another one, and I've got 29th of May as a 4 hour low as well. We've broken that high. I pulled 29th of May, I pulled back, retracement.
Yeah. That's maybe the
Yeah,
15-minute low, mate. So
all right, I've got that as 4 hour, but I'm still trying to juggle between what days work.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
obviously it's not. Obviously, I'm saying all this big structure is my 4 hour, and
Yeah,
this one's probably my 15.
yeah,
It doesn't matter what name we put on it,
yeah, I agree.
as long as you're aware of that it's a certain time frame that you want breaking. So
Yeah,
yeah, obviously, I'd say that's my 15, but yeah, you can name it your 4 hour, you can name it your daily. It really don't matter
yeah,
as long as you're aware that obviously it's pushed up from somewhere down here, it's made a high,
yeah.
it's pulled
So
back,
yeah,
and then it's made a new high, only just, but it's made a new high. So this is the
yeah, it did.
live
Yeah,
low
yeah, I agree.
on that whatever time frame that be.
And my assumption is we're in the top 25% of that leg
Yes, yeah,
and potentially coming up for or not yet, but we might be.
yeah,
Sell is if we get up, if we break into the top. Let me just draw my thing on. So I'm juggling between your chart and my chart.
that's fine.
Da, 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 da. Actually, we're at about 50% bang on at the moment. So it's got to come up a bit before the sell. It's okay. That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Excuse
that
me.
no, it's all good, mate. So that's my live low
Yeah, I agree. That's what
50,
I've got.
15-minute low. So, and then obviously what we have got, mate, is obviously we've got obviously lower time frame structures. So,
Yeah, I'm still not using those yet. I'm not sure. Not completely
what's
sure I need them at this stage. I'm still trying to work that out.
it's
Because that's enough. That tells me I'm looking for a
yeah.
sell
Yeah.
potentially.
Well, the
We
only
zoom out.
difference, the I think where it becomes important is so when we was looking at EU, obviously
Yeah,
it had broken what I sort of classed as the 15-minute low.
yeah,
So
right.
EU's, although GU looks a bit cleaner,
Yeah.
it hasn't broke the 15-minute low yet, whereas EU has. So
Yeah,
if this comes, this is probably my 1 minute low here. So
yeah,
obviously
okay.
green line. So this might this might take the 1 minute low, then that's a riskier entry than EU if EU breaks the 1 minute low as well, because
Yeah,
the EU's broke 15-minute and the one, whereas GU would have just broke the 1 minute. So
yeah.
EU's giving you the sign that it's possibly the weaker asset or the better asset for sells.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, so like I said, the substructures are
Yeah.
a bit of an indicator as well. So yeah, I mean, if this takes that low, technically that's a 1 minute breaker structure. So if you was really happy that it had hit this zone and you was just waiting for a 1 minute break, let's say there was a little trend line in here or something. There's not quite there, I don't think, but I'm not happy with that.
I've got one underneath on the 15. The end is 6th of June, 3:30 a.m. So I've got that as a continuation.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah,
it gets up there.
yeah. But again, it's obviously we can find trades in these sort of like 1 minute structures and 15 minute structures as well. So if obviously this low's pretty much mid range to be fair, so selling taking a buy from this 1 minute low if we're expecting it doesn't take it, taking a sell from say there is pretty risky.
Mm.
Not saying it wouldn't happen because what I would like to see is maybe like a trend line in here that gets swept or something like that. Obviously,
Yeah, it's got to
you
go
know,
up a bit for a sell, I
yeah,
think. That's how I see it.
yeah.
I don't see it as
So
selling yet.
obviously we've got to add liquidity into these sort of prime areas. So this is maybe a prime area for buying. It's risky though. I don't see a trend line, so that doesn't make this a sweep. Um, it's mid range. It's only a 1 minute sort of structure, bit on the risky side. This is the 15 minute low.
Yeah, that's the start of a trend line. That point you're picking out there, it's not the end.
Which
I've
one?
got it as
Sorry.
a start. The one on left, 3rd of June, the one you were looking at a moment ago.
Yeah, yeah,
3rd of June at that low, 12:30
yeah,
lunchtime. That's the start of a trend line I've got.
yeah,
Yeah, up until the right. Hang on. Yeah. Well, where does it go? The end is 6th of June, 10 a.m.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, there you go. That might be
we've
the
got a sweep there now. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, Friday's afternoon was the sweep possibly. Obviously, you would still wait for a break to the upside.
Yeah. It's not
Um,
not ready yet.
yeah, it's only just swept, so obviously the sweep happens there. I mean, it's maybe tapped into something in here already that it's after, so that could be the low. You still want it to break above something like up here, then mitigate and then buy up.
I've actually got a trend that low makes a trend line as well.
Yeah,
Where are we? Hang on, dubs. 6th of June, 2 p.m. That low you were just looking at there.
um,
Up to the left, that's the end of a trend line that goes up to the left.
yeah,
So we've made it so we don't want it. That's got to be swept as well if we were going to buy anyway.
yeah,
Let me check what I've got, Lee. No, it's a little further to the left. The other end of it is 4th of June, 9 p.m.
yeah, yeah,
But that's got to get taken if we're going to buy, regardless. Now,
yeah,
stop. You're going to tell me.
yeah. I'm not keen
Let
on
me
that
see what
one.
I've got. Now, let me have a quick look at it. Wait, see what my other point is. Fair. No, there's a tiny gap there. Yes, that's fair.
Yeah.
We can go to there. Probably go to there.
Well, this
You
candle to
can
the
move
right,
it.
this candle's the right spread hour, so I don't.
Yeah, it is a half past 10, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not definitely not trusting that low. It's a little bit better on that time frame because it's
Yeah, that's not
yeah,
quite a gap, is it?
yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not
Yeah,
having
fair enough. Good
not having
spot. Thanks.
that one.
All right. Come on, there's one in there somewhere.
Yeah,
We can find it.
yeah. But obviously, the point sort of is relevant. You know, like the 1 minute lows are good areas for like aggressive buys. You know, and then the next point will be somewhere in this 15-minute low if there was a trend line, build the liquidity and a sweep, say there. I don't want to accept that by a long way, but obviously you get the idea.
Tomatoes. I think I looked in there and I couldn't get anything. There aren't many places in here I haven't looked.
No,
I think I could get. I need a way of marking places I've already looked because I ended up looking again in the same place. I go, oh no, I've already spent 5 minutes trying to draw a line there and there wasn't one. And now
yeah,
I've wasted 5 minutes trying to do it again. It's really annoying.
yeah.
I don't have a memory for all these shapes, so I come back to the same place. Sometimes I use dotted lines for a failed trend line, which means at least I've looked.
Yeah, need an indicator just to tell you that you've looked and stopped looking.
Yeah, I said, hang on, there is one there. Ba, 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 da, ba, ba. Let me just check it meets Goodman rules. And the middle touch is a tiny bit short. But the right hand end is 28th of May, 2:30 p.m.
That's the start of it or end there.
End. It goes up to the right. What am I on? 15-minute. So looking between charts here. 28th of May, 14:30 is the right hand end. And the start is 26th of May, 1 a.m.
Well, that's the start of it, 26.
Yeah, the down line.
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere. A bit, and it links up to there. I've got the beginning at 00:45. I've
Yeah.
got 1:45 in the morning. Anything
Yeah,
else in this trade line?
yeah, it's good that one, mate.
Valid?
There you go. It proves my point that the 15-minute lows, obviously, are prime buying areas. Obviously,
Yeah.
same with the 1 minutes as well. The Obviously, all you've got to do from that is obviously determine if there's an imbalance down here that you want
Yeah.
mitigating, which obviously then becomes your entry. It could well be up here as well because of the substructure. We That high there, this one where my arrow is, could be the
Mhm.
1 minute change, and this doesn't take it here. So this somewhere in here might be the cause of this 1 minute of the break, change of character, whatever. So possibly somewhere up here as well that's worth looking at for an entry, if that's what you're looking to do, obviously. Um,
Where did you have your 1 minute change of character there, Lee? Could you show me again? I find it quite tricky not to be too strict and not to be too generous on the 1 minute change of character.
yeah,
It's a bit of a judgment call, isn't it?
yeah, it's
Excuse me.
yeah, I completely understand it, mate. It's something I've battled with for years.
Yeah.
So, but I would always say err on the side of caution. But I know with caution comes you maybe miss the trade and then you lose when it does eventually come back, thinking that your over caution was the safer option. So
All right.
uh, obviously, I know that's a double-edged sword. Like the extra precaution can be just as dangerous as well. So it's hard, but yeah,
But actually, if you look at it, even if you take like 28th of May, 10:30, as you change your character, most stuff is already mitigated anyway. There's not as much to look at as it looks.
no,
This is the thing I've learned out recently. By the time you wipe out all the stuff that's mitigated,
yeah,
there's less than you think,
yeah,
even if it's been quite a good range.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of this. What, like, obviously I'm on the 15 minute, but I'm assuming this is me one. It might well be that this is a new low pullback, and this does break it. I mean, this is a big push up, so
Yeah, sure.
that might well be the change of character here. Actually, it's that one there might be the 1 minute change of character. This big push up. So, but obviously we get a big push up here that causes this one. So
Yeah.
it comes down to a judgment call. So
Yeah, sure, sure.
if
Yeah.
we,
Most
uh,
of that's taken anyway. So
yeah,
actually, there's very little below.
yeah. So
Sorry,
that's.
it's at 1, 3, 4, 4.
I mean,
You've
if
got
I
to go
draw,
lower than that to be not taken.
yeah.
Excuse me.
So if I draw from this low here, so this is market
Yeah, there you go.
open and close. I'm not sure I'm going to include that, but you could draw a line from this low, look left. If
Yeah,
there's something in here that you really like the look of, stick your entry there. If this is all pretty balanced, then you move up to like this relevant price action. Because I mean, this is a
yeah,
nice looking candle. We're on the 15, so it might look dog shit on the 1 minute or below, but you can really reduce it by,
yeah.
take a look in there and see if there's anything that you really like the look of. I like the look of this candle, so
You're on the plus two now. Okay. There's not much really.
now,
What have
so
you got? 10.
decent push
Yeah,
up here.
about it. Well, that one just stands out, doesn't it, on the 1 minute?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, you got this huge push up as well, but I mean, you often do see that like these ones really stand out, and then you get this one that's sort of like half mitigated. That
Yeah,
is sometimes difficult to spot, and I maybe think that's done on purpose
right.
because this maybe like takes people out because they're trying to get a bit too tight or whatever. But there's often like a little sneaky one just below the obvious ones.
Nicky Pizza.
I think this mitigates this, so you could argue that this candle here as well, which I didn't spot in the first place. So
Yeah. That's the low, isn't it? Yeah, I think
is that
that is.
low?
No,
Is
it's
it?
not the low. No, it's not. No, it is the low. It's the low of the push, but it's not the low
Yeah,
of that leg.
yeah. So
Oh, excuse me.
maybe got this here as well, and maybe that there, but I don't think that is about it in it. Anything lower? Just that. So yeah, possibly buys from one of them positions there as long as yes. But then obviously, like I say, you could always if you didn't find these and you're not really happy with them, like I say, you would go to the next one along,
Yeah.
which is just say this one here. So let's have a quick look in this high up in this zone. Obviously, there's stuff lower, so I won't recommend taking anything from this high, but it's worth a quick look. So I don't think I could dare stick an entry on that one myself. A pipette, don't think that'll hold. Stranger things have happened.
I bet you've done it.
I can't actually remember, mate.
You must have done it at some point. when you were young and foolishly.
Yeah, yeah. This was the last week. Price action, that's a bit like spread over. Yeah, nothing too major in that. Price higher up there, so I'd definitely be leaning towards buying from lower down.
Yeah, there's only two zones really, I think.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Right, I'm gonna call it there, guys, because it's been over an hour. So,
Thank you, Lee.
hopefully, I've covered everything that anyone wanted covering. Um, if there's any questions, guys, fire them away in the supply chat. I'm always there. So, have a for the lads that I don't speak to too often, have a good week. Give us a message if you need anything. I'll catch you guys in the week.
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Bye bye.